Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. This is Yogalete AUBURN. We are a community of maybe you were an athlete before, maybe you're an athlete now, maybe you just consider yourself a yoga athlete, somebody who loves to do yoga and learn new things. But either way, this is a community for you, and you'll find all sorts of fun challenges, strength, flexibility, mobility on my page. So feel free to check everything out that I have to offer. And today we're going to move through a flow that's going to really lengthen through the backs of our legs, really lengthen through our low back, through the back chain of our body, strengthen up through the core, the hip flexors, and eventually we'll be opened up for a pose called Firefly. Now, I'm not going to teach you Firefly in this class. There will be a link to a Firefly tutorial if you want to check that out later on and try it on your own time. And so from here, we're going to start to move into our flow. You might want some props. I've got a pillow, a blanket, and some blocks here to make myself more comfortable as we go today. So find all of the things that you need, and we'll meet back here on the mat. Okay, so once you've gotten everything that you need, we're going to come into a supine position. So that's on our back. You're going to lay all the way down and then bring your feet onto the floor. So we're just going to stay in bent knees. You can take your hands to your belly button. Take a few deep breaths. Allow your body to settle in with each exhale. Breathing all the way into your belly button. Full exhales out. We'll take two more. Inhaling. Big exhale. And one more time. Big inhale. And a full exhale out. Good. Once you feel nice and calm, you can start to bring your knees in towards your chest. And we're going to start to reach our chest up as well. So you can hold on to your knees here. And you can place your hands now onto your thighs. So we're in sort of a dynamic tension position. Press your low back down into the floor. Keep pressing your legs back into your hands and your hands back into your legs. From there, you can flex your feet. And then from here, keep your right hand where it is. And on your inhale, you're going to reach your left arm, left leg away from you. And on your exhale, draw them back together. We'll do that on the other side. Inhale, right arm, right leg, reach out. And exhale, draw them back together. Let's do that 2 more times on each side. You can always lay your head down if you need to at any time, taking the same movements here. Right side, inhaling, lengthening, exhaling to draw in. 1 more on each side, inhaling on the left, and exhale, draw it back in. Inhale on the right, and exhale, draw back in. Now you're going to start to slowly lower back. Bring your knees wide now on the soles of your feet, pointing up towards the sky. Take your elbows inside your knees. Just start and see if you can grab your ankles, your shins, and start to bring your knees down towards the floor, towards your rib cage. You can rock side to side for a moment here. Maybe reach towards the outer edges of your feet if you can. Keep your toes flexing back towards your shins. A few breaths here. Big inhales all the way into your belly button. And full exhales out. Good. Now on the next inhale, going to start to reach your hands up inside of your legs. And then flex your fingers back as if you were going to do an arm balance. From there, see if you can start to point your toes and straighten your legs. Now, can you start to lift your hands up so that your head and chest lift up? And then from there, bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Your inner thighs might be touching your elbows now, so you're in sort of a firefly position on your back now. Sort of fun. Big breath in here. Big breath out as you slowly lower everything towards the floor. Take a couple of rocks side to side on your lower back. From here, we're going to roll back and forth up into a straddle position, so make sure you have some room. On your inhale, you're going to start to roll back, squeeze your knees in. And on your exhale, use your hip muscles and your core to reach yourself up. Reach your legs out as far apart as you can, and then reach your fingertips forward just gently. Take an inhale as you slowly roll yourself all the way back onto your back. And exhale brings you back up. Open your feet. One more time. Inhaling, rolling back, and exhaling, opening up through the legs. This time we'll stay here. Make sure your back is flat. Your chest is reaching forward and down. Take a big inhale here. And a big exhale. Now from here, we're going to slowly start to walk our hands back. Bring our feet a little bit closer together. Coming into a butterfly, but bring your feet a little further apart. Press your feet into each other. Now from here, you're going to take your hands onto your knees. You're going to press your legs up into your hands, but at the same time, press your hands back into your legs. Feel that resistance. Hold for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and then on the last one, exhale. Let all of that tension go. See if you can relax your knees down towards the floor just a little more. A couple breaths here. Reach your chest forward and down. Last inhale. And on your exhale, slowly make your way up. Come to a hands and knees position. Now you have 2 options from here. Okay, you can stay here in a tabletop on your hands and knees. If you'd like a down dog, you can press your hands firmly into the floor. Make sure your index fingers point forward and are parallel to each other. Then start to lift your hips up and back towards the sky. Press your hands down and forward. Keep your back nice and long, your spine straight, and then from there, maybe you can start to straighten your legs, right? They don't have to go all the way straight. Now, you can always be in the tabletop. This is not a required position. But either way, we're going to start to make our way towards a yoga squat. So, from the downward facing dog, I'll have a modification on the screen for those of you in table. Either way, can look forward. We're going to step the right foot outside the right hand. And then we're going to step the left foot outside the left hand. So now we're in this sort of squat-like position. Now you can take a block if you want to. Place it underneath your seat here and see if you can sit all the way down on it. Just an option. We're going to keep our elbows pressing into our knees so that our hips open up here. You can always take that block away and come into a regular yoga squat if you like. Either way, last inhale, lift your chest. Now on your exhale, we're all going to take a block-like thing if you have a block. And on your exhale, slowly start to lift your hips, pressing your thighs back. Now your knees don't have to go all the way straight. Big inhale here. On your exhale, slowly lower back down to the little yoga squat, elbows inside the knees. On the inhale, again, pressing the thighs back, starting to lengthen the chest forward. And exhale, lowering back down. One more time. Inhale, pressing back through the thighs. And exhale, lowering back down. Good. This time we're going to stand all the way up. Reach the arms all the way up at the very top. Get a little bit of a back bend here. And then exhale, hands come down to heart center. You're going to step the feet a little bit closer together. We'll take a few rounds of half sun salutation A. Inhaling, lifting arms overhead. And exhaling, folding forward over your legs. From here, halfway lift your spine, back is flat. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise to stand, reach up. Exhale, folding over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise to stand, reach up. And exhale, hands down to heart center. Now we're going to strengthen up through our right hip flexor first. Bring your right heel off the floor, hands can come to hips. And then slowly lift your right knee up towards your chest. So your knee is going to be about parallel with your hip here. Think about drawing your inner thighs towards each other. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, feel free to use a wall if you have one. We're going to step all the way back to a little lunge position. Right toes go back to the back of the mat. Feel free to grab a block if you need one. Back knee will come down to the floor. From here, we're rising up into a little modified lunge. Take a big breath in here. On your exhale, open twist to the left. Take your right hand outside your left knee, and then your left hand twist all the way back. Press your left knee into your right hand. Take an inhale. On your exhale, can you take your left hand down your right leg? Right arm will reach up and back into a little exalted lunge. Big breath in here. And on your exhale, little runner's lunge twist. You can take your block, right hand comes to your block, lift up through your back leg, and then reach your left arm up towards the sky, coming into a big twist through your spine. Take a big breath in here. And on your exhale, your left hand comes down to the floor. We're stepping back to forward fold, top of the mat. From there, halfway lift your spine, flat back, and fold forward on the exhale. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands down to heart center. Okay, we're going to do all of that on the left leg now. So starting with the hip flexor strengthener, going to lift up through that left knee. Keep the inner thighs drawing together. Keep the core engaged. Flexing through the left toes, you're going to slowly push the heel back. Remember, there's a wall if you need one. Maybe you have a chair. Once you get the toes back, bring the back knee to the floor. Reach your arms overhead. Now remember, that block could be helpful. Breathing in here. On your exhale, left hand now comes to the outside of the right leg. Left hand presses into the leg as the leg presses back. You're reaching your right hand all the way back. Big breath in. On your exhale, right hand moves down the left leg. Left arm reaches up and back. Take an inhale. On your exhale, runner's lunge twist. That block could be helpful under your left hand. Left hand to the floor. Left knee lifts. Reach your right arm to sky. Try to keep your hips squared here. Maybe look up at your hand. Take an inhale. On your exhale, slowly step forward, coming back to the forward fold, top of the mat. On the inhale, halfway lift your spine, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise to stand, reaching up high. We'll move through a vinyasa here, reaching arms overhead. Inhale. And on your exhale, fold forward, keep your core engaged. On the inhale, you're going to halfway lift, and we'll all step back to the top of a push-up, plank pose. You can always bring your knees down if you would like to here. Take an inhale wherever you are. And on your exhale, knees up or down, we're going to lower all the way to our belly. From here, hands slide in next to the rib cage. On the inhale, you're going to lift your head and chest, little cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press back through your plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. So remember, you can be in dog or table, doesn't matter. We're going to move through a different little bit of core work from here. So we're all going to shift forward to a plank pose. If you need to bring your left knee down at any time, you can. We're going to start with the right leg. We're doing what are called plank clocks. You're going to see if you can step all the way up towards 1 o'clock and step back. 2 o'clock, step back. 3 o'clock, back. 4 o'clock, back. 5 o'clock, back. 6 o'clock, back. Okay? So just kind of take this at your own pace. We'll go through that on the left side. Bring your knees down in between if you need to. Okay? So whatever you feel like 1 o'clock would be, reaching that foot up and then bringing it back. 2 o'clock and back. 3 o'clock, back, 4 o'clock, back, 5 o'clock, back, and 6 o'clock, and back. Good. Slowly bring your knees down. Come to a little child's pose for a second. Reach your hips back towards your heels. You can allow your forehead to rest down on the floor if you would like to. Start to notice your shoulders here. Any tension going on through your shoulders, through your arms. See if you can relax through the low back. A couple breaths. Now either meeting back in table or a downward facing dog. That is up to you. We're going to move through a few more standing poses and then we'll start to cool it down. So from your table or your down dog, you're going to lift your right leg up and back, three-legged dog or table. On your exhale, you're going to look forward, step between your hands. From there, spin your left heel towards the floor, and you're going to rise up into a warrior one. So your feet are not on train tracks, right? You've got your feet about hip distance apart here, and you're reaching your arms all the way overhead. Now, you're going to take your fingers, see if you can interlace them behind your back. This may be as far as you go. Either way, you're going to start to squeeze your elbows towards each other. Press your fists down towards the floor. See if you can open your chest a little bit in this warrior one. Big breath in wherever you are. And on your exhale, gently release the arms behind you. Take your hands to your hips. Straighten through the front leg. You can step your back foot in a little bit if you need to. Okay? Keep a slight bend through the front knee and engage your quad. Going to start to push your hips back, coming into pyramid. Keep a nice flat back. So that block could be helpful here underneath your fingertips, but you're trying to square your right hip back and your left hip forward. Keep pressing into all four corners of your feet here. Keep breathing. Now, option to take your left fingers to a block. Maybe start to open your right shoulder towards the right. Maybe lift your right hand up towards the sky. Wherever you are, big breath in. And on your exhale, right hand comes down. Bend through the front knee a little bit. You can take your block with you. We're coming to warrior three. You can use that block underneath your fingertips if you want, or see if you can lift your hands away from the block. Big breath in wherever you are. And on your exhale, you're going to slowly bring your left knee up towards your chest, coming into a one-legged Tadasana. Big breath in. Now on your exhale, you're going to step all the way back, coming into a little lunge position, and then spin to the left side, facing the left side of your mat. Okay, so I'm facing behind you. I'm going to turn around just so that you can see me. So you're in a wide-legged position. From here, what you're going to do is start to turn your heels in and your toes out at an angle. From there, bend your knees a little bit, coming into this little horse stance position. This time, we're going to keep our hands on our thighs and our thumbs inside of the legs. Take an inhale, see if you can lift your chest. And on your exhale, dip your right shoulder down towards the floor as you press your right knee out. Inhale back to center, and exhale, twist to the left. Inhale back to center, and exhale, straighten your legs. Bring your heels behind your toes now. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And on your exhale, press your hips back. Keep a little bend in your knees. Inhale, lift back up. Squeeze your glutes to come up. And exhale, push the hips back. One more time. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, push the hips back. This time we're folding forward. You can bring your fingertips down towards the floor. Let your head start to be heavy like a bowling ball. You can shake it yes, shake it no. Deep breaths. One more inhale. And on your exhale, you can start to roll yourself back up. Start to face forward towards the top of the mat. We're going to step all the way back to dog or table, wherever you started from. We're going to do all of that on the left leg now. So on your inhale, lift your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. On your exhale, start to step your foot in between your hands. Spin your back heel down at an angle, and on your inhale, you're going to rise all the way up, coming into a warrior one lunge. Think about here, your hips squaring. And from here, we're going to start to make our way into the chest opener. Fingertips behind you, elbows squeeze together, but ribs don't flare. Draw them together, and then press the fist down towards the floor if you have that space. Couple breaths here. Last inhale. And on the exhale, release hands to hips. Step your back foot in like one footprint, and then we're going to start to push the hips back into that pyramid fold. Remember, a block here could be helpful underneath your fingertips. Just make sure your left hip is moving back and your right hip is moving forward. Adjust your feet as needed, and if you want the twist option, right fingers can come to the block, and then you'll start to twist your left arm open towards the sky. Take a couple of breaths here. And on your next exhale, left hand comes down towards the floor. You can take your block with you, coming to warrior three, standing all the way up on the left leg. Strong through the core. Maybe you can lift your hands up towards your chest. Keep pressing the back heel back, big inhale. And on the exhale, bring the right knee up to standing, coming to that one-legged Tadasana again. Big breath in. And on the exhale, stepping all the way back, you're going to turn to face the right side of your mat this time, coming into the wide leg position. Now, back into the horse pose, taking the hands to the thighs. This time, option to see if you can start to lean your chest forward, take your elbows inside your knees, and kind of press your legs out. If that's too much, stay up here, okay? Either way is fine. If you would like this option, you can stay here. Either way, one more inhale. And on your exhale, slowly stand up, heels behind the toes now, so pivot your feet. Take an inhale, lift your chest. And exhale, we're just going to fold this one time down in between the legs. We'll stay for several rounds of breath. If you want to hang and let gravity take you down, you can do that. Make sure your legs are turned on, your quads, all of the muscles in your ankles. One more inhale. And on your exhale, slowly roll your way up to standing. We're going to turn to face the top of the mat as we make our way back to the mat to a seated position. So if you would like to play with the big arm balance Firefly, there'll be a link below in the description of a video that you can do to try that. And then if you want, you can come back and cool down with this video. If you're ready to cool down, sorry puppy dog, gonna have to take these things from you. I would grab maybe a puppy or a pillow or a blanket to use for this next little bit. Here you go, buddy. You can have the blanket. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to use my pillow. You're welcome to use a blanket. I'm going to place it underneath this top part of my belly here for these next couple of poses. We're going to take a little bit of a back bend sort of position. So what I want you to do is just take your soft prop underneath this front part of your belly. And then you're going to take your right knee and bend it. Turn your left arm so that it's parallel to the top of the mat. And then from there, you're going to reach back. See if you can grab the top of your foot. Now, if this is a struggle for you to grab, you can always take a belt or a towel or something like that and grab from there. Either way, you're just going to find a gentle kick of your foot into your hand and gently draw your inner thighs towards each other. Lay down. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And on your last exhale, gently release. We're going to take that on the other side. Your right arm goes parallel to the top of the mat. Then you'll bend through your left knee, grabbing onto the top of your foot and just gently finding that kick into your hand. Keep your ribs and your core coming together. A couple more breaths. And when you're ready, slowly release that stretch. Now from here, we're coming into a last little core strengthener. You can move your pillow now to the side and grab it later if you would like to. You're going to bring your forearms down onto the floor and step your feet back, coming into this last forearm plank. We'll hold for several rounds of breath. Just want you to make sure that you're pressing your heels back. You've got your glutes gently tucking under. Arms are pressing firmly down into the floor. Ribs coming together. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. And on your exhale, gently bring your knees down. Walk your hands back up towards the table. We're coming onto our backs again for the last part of practice. So first, we're going to roll down onto our back. And our first position will be a figure 4. We'll take our arms to a T and take your left leg over the right thigh. Gently tuck your tailbone under a little bit and press your low back into the floor. From there, maybe you have the space to grab behind your right leg. This may be too much. If it is, just take the right foot back down and open the leg. A few more breaths. And on your next exhale, you're going to bring your arms to a T position and then slowly let your left foot travel to the right side. So your legs are still in that figure 4. You're just twisting now with your legs on the right. You can look over your left shoulder if you would like to. A few breaths here. On your next inhale, slowly bring your legs up to center. Bend through the left foot, and the foot's going to come to the ground, and then right ankle over the left thigh. Tuck your tailbone a little bit, press your right knee away from you, and maybe you have the space to grab behind the left leg and stay there, or maybe you need to bring your foot back down. Either way, stay where you are. A few more breaths. Last inhale. And on your exhale, arms to a T. Now your right foot travels to the left, so you're twisting your hips over to the left side. Breathe into your hips here, a few breaths. When you're ready, bring your legs back to center. And from here, bring your feet wide on your mat. Let your knees fall in on each other. Bring your arms down by your side. Close your eyes. Soften your gaze. And take several breaths in and out through your nose. See if you can relax your whole body onto the floor, starting from the crown of your head down your neck, relaxing your spine and your arms, relaxing your hips and your legs, letting your feet relax. We'll stay here for a little longer. Feel free to leave whenever you need to. Take a moment to let physical awareness come back. Start to move your fingers and your toes a little bit. And start to move your knees side to side, bringing some awareness back into your hips. And then if a full body stretch feels right to you, you can reach your arms long overhead and point your toes before slowly bringing your knees in and coming into a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me for this flow today. I hope that it spoke to you in some way and you enjoyed it. Feel free to come back at any time and do this class again, or check out any of my other classes as well. Thanks again for joining me. See you next time.